A black man took a bullet for a stranger. The next day, his life and love changed. Adrian Matthews was walking home from his night shift at the hospital when he heard the commotion. At 35, the former Marine turned emergency room nurse had learned to recognize danger, and the raised voices from the downtown parking garage set off every alarm in his trained mind. "Please, just take my purse," a woman's voice echoed through the concrete structure. "I won't fight you." Adrian paused at the entrance, his military instincts warring with common sense. He should call the police, wait for professionals, but the desperation in the woman's voice and years of protecting others in combat zones made the decision for him. Moving quietly through the shadows, he spotted them. 3 armed men surrounding a petite blonde woman in a business suit. She clutched a briefcase and car keys, backing against a luxury sedan as they advanced. "The briefcase too, lady. Everything?" Adrian recognized the tactical situation immediately. 3 against 1, weapons drawn, victim cornered. In his combat days, he would have had backup and superior firepower. Now he had only his medical training, Marine experience, and a moral code that wouldn't let him walk away. "LAPD, drop your weapons," he shouted, hoping his authoritative voice would scatter them. The bluff worked for exactly 2 seconds. The robbers spun toward him, and in that moment, the woman broke for her car. One gunman fired at her retreating form, and Adrian didn't think. He moved. The bullet meant for the stranger tore through his shoulder instead, sending him sprawling across the concrete. Pain exploded through his body, but his training kept him conscious and aware as the robbers fled in panic. "Oh my God! Oh my God!" The woman rushed to him, her hands hovering over his wound. "You're bleeding. Why did you? I'm so sorry." "Call 911. Adrian managed through gritted teeth. "Pressure on the wound. I don't know how." "Your hands. Press hard. Don't let me bleed out." As sirens wailed in the distance, and the woman followed his instructions with shaking hands, Adrian caught a glimpse of her face in the dim light. Beautiful, terrified, and looking at him like he was some kind of hero instead of a man who'd made a split-second decision to protect a stranger. "What's your name?" she whispered as paramedics rushed toward them. "Adrian," he said as consciousness began to fade. "Adrian Matthews. I'm Catherine Sterling, and I will never forget what you did for me." The last thing Adrian saw before the paramedics took over was her face, etched with gratitude and something deeper, a look that would haunt his recovery and change everything that came after. Adrian woke up in Cedars-Sinai Medical Center with his shoulder bandaged, his arm in a sling, and a dozen flower arrangements crowding his room. The nurse on duty, his colleague Maria from the ER, was checking his chart with an amused expression. "Popular guy," she said with a grin. "Half these are from strangers who heard about what you did on the news." "The news? You're a hero, Adrian. Marine veteran takes bullet for stranger," was the headline. "The woman you saved has been calling every hour, asking about your condition. Hello, my Stop Racism family. Thank you for tuning in today. Before we dive deeper into this beautiful love story, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Drop your country and state in the comments below. Also, I'd love to know your thoughts. What did you think of the story so far? Do you believe love can truly conquer prejudice? Let us know in the comments. We love reading them. And trust me, your words motivate us to keep making these videos. Let's make this video reach at least 50 comments. Your support means the world to us, and it drives us to create even more meaningful content for you. So don't forget to comment, share, and keep spreading love. Before Adrian could process this information, there was a soft knock on his door. Catherine Sterling entered carrying another flower arrangement and looking nothing like the terrified woman from the parking garage. Her blonde hair was perfectly styled, her designer dress impeccable, and she moved with the confidence of someone accustomed to commanding rooms. "Mr. Matthews," she said, setting the flowers on his bedside table. "How are you feeling?" "Like I got shot," Adrian replied with dark humor. "But alive, thanks to you following instructions under pressure." "Thanks to me? You took a bullet meant for me. I should be thanking you." "You did thank me. Last night, before I passed out." Catherine pulled a chair close to his bed, studying his face intently. "Adrian, I need you to understand something. What you did, throwing yourself between me and that gunman, It was the most selfless thing anyone has ever done for me. I was a Marine. Protecting people is what I do. Not anymore, though. You're a nurse now. You could have called the police and stayed safe. Adrian shrugged with his good shoulder, immediately regretting the movement. Couldn't let you get hurt. Why? You don't even know me. Didn't matter. You needed help. Catherine stared at him for a long moment. Most people would have walked away. I'm not most people. No, she said quietly. You're not. They talked for an hour, and Adrian learned that Catherine Sterling was the CEO of Sterling Pharmaceuticals, a billionaire who'd been working late when the attack happened. She was intelligent, articulate, and surprisingly down to earth, despite her obvious wealth. I've arranged for your medical bills to be covered, she said as she prepared to leave. Full coverage, plus compensation for lost work time. No, that's not necessary. It's the least I can do. But Adrian, I'd like to do more. Much more. Like what? Like making sure you never have to worry about money again. Like setting up a foundation in your honor. Like... Catherine, Adrian interrupted gently. I appreciate the gesture, but I didn't save you for a reward. I know. That's exactly why you deserve one. After she left, Adrian lay in his hospital bed, thinking about the intensity in her eyes, the way she'd said his name, and the strange feeling that his life had just taken an unexpected turn. Catherine returned the next day with a proposition that left Adrian speechless. I want to hire you, she announced, settling into the visitor's chair with corporate confidence. As what? I'm a nurse. As my head of security, personal protection, threat assessment, safety coordination. The salary would be 4 times what you make at the hospital. Adrian blinked. Catherine, I appreciate the offer, but you have military training, medical skills, and you've already proven you'll put your life on the line to protect me. You're exactly what I need. You need professional security, not a nurse with a hero complex. I've had professional security. Expensive, well-trained, completely impersonal. They protect me because it's their job. You protected me because it was right. That's different. In the moment, with adrenaline. Is it? Would you make the same choice again, knowing what you know now? Adrian considered the question seriously. Despite the pain, despite the career implications, despite the fact that he could have died, he knew his answer immediately. Yes. Then you understand why I want you protecting me permanently. Adrian studied her face, looking for ulterior motives, but finding only sincerity. Catherine, we barely know each other. I know you're brave, selfless, and skilled. I know you make good decisions under pressure. What else do I need to know? Why is this so important to you? Catherine was quiet for a moment, her confident mask slipping slightly. Because I've never had anyone willing to take a bullet for me, and because I don't want to lose the one person who has. The vulnerability in her voice caught Adrian off guard. This wasn't just about security. It was about connection, about the bond forged in that terrifying moment when he'd chosen her life over his own safety. I need to think about it, he said finally. Of course, take all the time you need. But Adrian, I meant what I said yesterday. You changed my life in that parking garage. Let me change yours. That evening, Maria stopped by with updates from the ER. So the billionaire wants to hire you as her bodyguard? She asked with raised eyebrows. Head of security. Same thing. You gonna do it? I don't know. It feels like charity. Or it feels like a smart businesswoman recognizing talent and wanting to keep it close. Adrian looked at his friend curiously. What do you mean? I mean, she's been here every day. She could have sent flowers and a check and moved on with her life. Instead, she's personally invested in your recovery. She feels guilty. Maybe. Or maybe she feels something else. Maria, I'm just saying, rich or poor, when a woman looks at a man the way she looks at you, it's not just about professional gratitude. After Maria left, Adrian lay awake thinking about Catherine's offer, her visits, and the possibility that his heroic moment had created something deeper than a simple debt of gratitude. 2 weeks later, Adrian found himself in Catherine's Beverly Hills mansion, officially employed as her head of personal security. The house was impressive, but not ostentatious, filled with art and books that spoke to intelligence rather than mere wealth. Your quarters are in the West Wing, Catherine explained, leading him through the house. Private entrance, full kitchen, complete privacy when you're off duty. This is too much. It's practical. If someone's trying to hurt me, I need you close enough to respond immediately. The job, Adrian quickly learned, was more complex than simple bodyguarding. Catherine's pharmaceutical company had made enemies, competitors angry about lost contracts, activists opposed to their research methods, and generic manufacturers threatened by their patents. Protecting her required understanding corporate espionage as much as physical threats. Your predecessor quit after someone sent ricin to my office, Catherine mentioned casually during his first week. Ricin? That's serious stuff. Very. Which is why I need someone who understands both tactical response and medical treatment. Any idea who's behind the threats? Several possibilities. My company just released a breakthrough cancer treatment that's disrupting the entire oncology market. We've received threats from 3 different sources. Adrian was reviewing the threat assessments when Catherine knocked on his office door. How are you settling in? She asked. Good. Your security protocols were already solid. I'm just tightening a few areas. And personally, are you comfortable here? Adrian looked up from his files. Catherine, can I ask you something? Of course. Why did you really hire me? The truth this time. Catherine sat down across from his desk, her professional mask dropping away. Because when you threw yourself in front of that bullet, you didn't see a rich white woman worth saving for a reward. You saw a human being in danger. That's true, but most people in my life see dollar signs when they look at me. Board members who want my approval, men who want my money, friends who want access to my lifestyle. You saw someone worth dying for, and you didn't even know my name. So, this is about authenticity? This is about the fact that I've never felt as safe with anyone as I felt with you in those terrifying minutes in the parking garage. You weren't protecting Catherine Sterling, the billionaire. You were protecting a stranger who needed help. And now? Now I want to see if what we felt in that moment can become something real. The admission hung between them, honest and vulnerable. Adrian realized that his feelings weren't one-sided. The connection he'd felt wasn't just trauma bonding or gratitude. Catherine, there are complications. I work for you now. People will assume whatever they want regardless of what we do. The question is, do you feel it too? Adrian met her eyes directly. Yes, but I don't want to be your employee who you're sleeping with. Then what do you want to be? Your partner, in every sense of the word. Over the following months, Adrian and Catherine developed a relationship that blurred the lines between professional and personal. He accompanied her to business meetings and charity galas, protected her from corporate threats and paparazzi, and gradually became her closest confidant. The Morrison acquisition is causing problems, Catherine said one evening as they reviewed her schedule. Their board is threatening a hostile takeover instead. Security implications? Possibly. Morrison's CEO, James Parker, has a reputation for playing dirty when he doesn't get his way. Define dirty. Industrial espionage, personal attacks on competitors' reputations, occasionally physical intimidation. Adrian made notes. I'll need background checks on his entire security team and surveillance on your key locations. Already in progress? I also want you at the negotiation meeting tomorrow. As security or as advisor? Catherine smiled. Both. Your military strategic thinking has been invaluable in these corporate battles. The next day's meeting confirmed Adrian's worst fears about James Parker. The man was smooth, charming, and radiated barely contained menace. When negotiations stalled, his parting words carried an unmistakable threat. Catherine, I hope you reconsider our offer. It would be unfortunate if your stubbornness led to unpleasant consequences. Was that a threat? Adrian asked quietly as Parker left. Absolutely, and not his first. That night, their relationship shifted from professional to personal. When Catherine knocked on Adrian's door wearing a simple dress and carrying a bottle of wine. Off-duty social call? He asked with amusement. I need to talk to someone who isn't on my payroll about what happened today. I am on your payroll. Not tonight. Tonight, you're my friend who took a bullet for me and might understand why I'm scared. They sat on his private patio, sharing wine and honest conversation about fear, responsibility, and the weight of making decisions that affected thousands of employees. I've never had someone I could trust completely, Catherine admitted as the evening progressed. Someone who would tell me the truth even when I don't want to hear it. You have that now, do I? Or do I have an employee who's paid to agree with me? Adrian set down his wine glass and took her hands. Catherine, I was ready to die for you before I knew your name or your net worth. What I feel for you has nothing to do with your money. What do you feel for me? Everything. Respect, attraction, protectiveness. Something that might be love if we let it develop. Might be? Is. Something that is love. That's been growing since that night in the parking garage. When Catherine kissed him, it was with months of suppressed emotion and the certainty that they'd moved beyond employer and employee into something deeper and more complex. Are we making a mistake? She whispered against his lips. Probably. But it's a mistake I'm willing to make if you are. How's this story hitting you so far? Tell us in the comments. If you're loving it, type 1. If not, type 0. We want to know what you think. Their relationship became public knowledge when paparazzi photographed them kissing at a charity gala. The headlines were predictably sensational. Billionaire's bodyguard romance. From hero to lover. The Sterling security story. Fortune hunter or true love. The reaction from Catherine's social circle was swift and mostly negative. Darling, surely this is just gratitude taken too far, her friend Victoria said over lunch. He saved your life. You rewarded him with a job. And now you're confusing professional appreciation with romantic feelings. It's not confusion, Victoria. I love him. You love the idea of him. The romance of being saved by a handsome hero. But realistically, what do you two have in common? Integrity, courage, similar values about what matters in life. He's after your money, Catherine. Men like that always are. Men like what? Victoria paused, realizing she'd revealed her prejudices. Men from different backgrounds. You mean black men? I mean men without comparable education or social standing. Catherine set down her fork. Adrian has a college degree, military honors, and a medical license. What exactly is his inferior background? You know what I mean. Yes, I do. And it's exactly why this conversation is over. The business world was equally skeptical. Board members questioned Catherine's judgment. Investors worried about her focus. And competitors like James Parker used the relationship to undermine her credibility. She's emotionally compromised, Parker told a business reporter, making personal decisions based on gratitude rather than sound business judgment. Sterling Pharmaceuticals deserves better leadership. The attacks intensified when Adrian began accompanying Catherine to board meetings as a strategic advisor rather than just security. This is highly irregular, board member Richard Whitman complained. Your bodyguard has no place in corporate strategy discussions. Adrian isn't just my bodyguard. He's my strategic advisor and partner. Partner in what sense? Every sense that matters. Catherine, we need to discuss the optics of this relationship. What we need to discuss is the Morrison acquisition and how to counter their hostile takeover attempt. Adrian's military strategic experience is exactly what we need right now. Despite the external pressure, Catherine stood by Adrian publicly and privately, making it clear that anyone who couldn't accept their relationship wasn't welcome in her life. The real test of their relationship came when James Parker escalated his tactics beyond corporate warfare. Adrian noticed the surveillance first. Unmarked cars following Catherine's route, men with cameras positioned outside her regular haunts, unusual activity around Sterling Pharmaceuticals headquarters. It's not standard paparazzi, Adrian reported during their morning security briefing. This is organized, professional surveillance. Someone's gathering intelligence. Parker? Most likely. He's building a case for something, either personal blackmail or a public campaign to discredit you. What do you recommend? Counter-surveillance. We document their activities while limiting their access to compromising information. And personally, we assume everything we do in public will be photographed, recorded, and potentially taken out of context. The warning proved prescient when photos surfaced of Adrian entering Catherine's bedroom late one evening. The images, taken with a telephoto lens from a neighboring building, were intimate but not inappropriate. Still, the accompanying article painted their relationship as unprofessional and exploitative. Billionaire's live-in lover. How far has Catherine Sterling's judgment fallen? I'm sorry, Adrian said, reading the article with disgust. This is my fault. I should have been more careful. This is not your fault. This is Parker trying to destroy my reputation because he can't beat my business strategies. Maybe we should step back from the public relationship. Keep things private until the Morrison situation resolves. Catherine turned to face him fully. Adrian, are you ashamed of our relationship? Of course not. Then don't let them make you act like you are. I won't hide my feelings for you because some people can't handle a successful woman choosing love over their expectations. It's affecting your business. My business will survive. What I can't survive is losing you because we let other people's prejudices dictate our choices. That night, Parker made his biggest mistake. Catherine was working late in her home office when the power went out. Adrian, trained to recognize tactical situations, immediately moved to secure the house. Stay here, he instructed Catherine. Lock the door behind me. He found the cut power lines and the two men attempting to break into the house through the kitchen. His Marine training took over, and within minutes, both intruders were subdued and police were en route. Mr. Parker sends his regards, one of them said as he was arrested. Says to tell Miss Sterling that accidents happen when people don't listen to good advice. The attempted break-in backfired spectacularly on Parker. Police found evidence linking the intruders to his security company, and the scandal that followed destroyed his reputation and his hostile takeover attempt. Sometimes, Catherine said, as they watched the news coverage of Parker's arrest, the best defense is letting your enemies destroy themselves. And sometimes, Adrian replied, the best defense is having someone willing to take a bullet for you. With the Parker threat eliminated and their relationship now public knowledge, Catherine and Adrian settled into a rhythm that balanced professional responsibilities with personal intimacy. Adrian's role evolved beyond security into genuine business partnership, his military strategic thinking proving invaluable in corporate negotiations. The Jensen merger looks promising, Adrian said, reviewing contracts in Catherine's home office. But their intellectual property portfolio has some gaps that could be problematic, such as their cancer research patents expire in 18 months. Without renewal or new developments, the merger loses significant value. Catherine looked up from her own papers, impressed as always by his analytical mind. How do you see these things that my MBA advisors miss? Different perspective. Military training teaches you to look for weaknesses and vulnerabilities that others might overlook. Is that how you see me? Strategically? Adrian set down his pen and moved to where she sat. I see you as the strongest person I know who's learned to trust someone else with her vulnerabilities. Such as the fact that you work 18-hour days because you're afraid of disappointing people. Such as how you second-guess every personal decision because you've been told that success means sacrificing happiness. And what do you think success means? Building something meaningful with someone you love. Catherine pulled him down for a kiss, their professional discussion momentarily forgotten. I love how you see the world, she murmured against his lips. Everything is possible. Everything can be fixed. Everyone deserves protection. Not everyone. Just the people worth saving. And I'm worth saving. You're worth everything. Their relationship deepened over late-night strategy sessions, early morning runs through Beverly Hills, and quiet dinners where they talked about dreams beyond corporate acquisitions and security protocols. What did you want to be when you were little? Catherine asked one evening as they cooked dinner together. A firefighter. I wanted to run into burning buildings and save people. Not much has changed. What about you? A doctor. I wanted to cure diseases and help sick children. Also, not much has changed. Your company's pediatric research division has saved thousands of kids, but I'm not the one in the lab making discoveries. I'm the one making profit projections and acquisition decisions. You're the one making sure brilliant researchers have the resources they need to save lives. That's just as important. Catherine realized that Adrian saw her not as the cold corporate executive the media portrayed, but as someone genuinely trying to make the world better through business success. The ultimate test came when Adrian's family flew in from Detroit to meet Catherine. His mother, Dorothy Matthews, was a retired school principal with strong opinions about everything, especially her son's romantic choices. So you're the billionaire, Dorothy said without preamble when Catherine opened the door. I'm Catherine. It's wonderful to meet you, Mrs. Matthews. We'll see. Adrian's sister Denise was more diplomatic but equally protective. Adrian tells us you two met when he took a bullet for you. He saved my life, and then you hired him. I wanted to keep him safe. By making him your employee? Catherine felt the family's protective instincts and understood them completely. by making him my partner in business and in life. The dinner conversation was polite but tense, with Dorothy asking pointed questions about Catherine's intentions and expectations. "My son has been taking care of other people his whole life," Dorothy said over dessert. "Military, nursing, now protecting you. When does someone take care of him?" "Every day," Catherine replied simply. "I take care of him every day." "How?" "By paying him, by loving him, by supporting his decisions, by making sure he knows he's valued for who he is, not what he can do for me." "And when you get tired of playing house with the help?" The question was deliberately provocative, and Catherine felt her temper rise. But Adrian's hand on hers reminded her that this was about family protection, not personal attack. "Mrs. Matthews, I understand why you're concerned. Adrian is an extraordinary man who deserves someone who appreciates him completely. I hope someday you'll see that I do." "We'll see," Dorothy repeated. Later, as they walked through Catherine's garden, Denise pulled her aside. "Don't mind Mama. She's protective because Adrian's ex-fiancé left him for a doctor who made more money. He was engaged 2 years ago. She said she couldn't handle being with someone who risked his life for strangers instead of building a stable future for family." Catherine felt a stab of understanding and fear. "And you think I'll do the same thing?" "I think you're different, but Mama needs to see it for herself." The breakthrough came when Catherine's business dinner was interrupted by a medical emergency. A waiter collapsed with what appeared to be a heart attack, and both Adrian and Catherine immediately moved to help. While Adrian performed CPR, Catherine coordinated with paramedics and used her pharmaceutical knowledge to provide critical information about potential drug interactions. Dorothy watched from across the restaurant as her son and Catherine worked as a seamless team to save a stranger's life. "That's how they are together," Denise whispered. "Partners." "I see that now," Dorothy replied quietly. By the end of the weekend, Dorothy had warmed to Catherine considerably. "You're good for him," she told Catherine privately. "He's happier than I've seen him since before the war. He's good for me too. He makes me want to be better than I am. Then you'll take care of each other. Always." 1 year after taking that bullet, Adrian planned a proposal that honored both their first meeting and their future together. He arranged for them to return to the parking garage where they'd met, now converted into a memorial garden for victims of violent crime. "Why are we here?" Catherine asked as they walked through the transformed space. "Because this is where our story began. Adrian, this place has terrible memories. This place has the memory of you being brave enough to trust a stranger, of me being lucky enough to save someone worth saving, of both of us discovering that sometimes the most important moments happen in the most unlikely places." He dropped to one knee beside the memorial plaque that now marked the location of their first meeting, pulling out a ring box that contained not just an engagement ring, but a small medal. "Catherine Sterling, you've changed my life in every possible way. You've made me a better man, a better partner, and a better person. Will you marry me?" "Adrian, is that your Purple Heart? I want you to have it. It represents the moment my life really began, the moment I chose to protect you. I can't take your military medal. It belongs with you. You're the reason I earned it." Catherine was crying as she said yes, and Adrian realized that their love story had truly begun with that split-second decision to put her life before his own safety. "I love you," she whispered as he slipped the ring onto her finger. "I love you too. Enough to take a bullet for you all over again. Let's hope that won't be necessary. With you, Catherine, I'd consider it an honor." Their wedding took place at Catherine's Beverly Hills home, transformed into a garden paradise for the occasion. The guest list included Adrian's military friends, Catherine's business associates, and family members who had learned to see past their differences to celebrate genuine love. The ceremony was officiated by Adrian's former commanding officer, who spoke about courage in both military and personal contexts. "Adrian Matthews has always been a man who runs toward danger to protect others," he said. "Today, he's running toward the greatest adventure of all, a lifetime partnership with someone who values his heart as much as his heroism." Catherine's vows reflected the journey from that terrifying night to this moment of joy. "Adrian, you saved my life in a parking garage, but more than that, you saved me from a life where success was measured only in dollars and achievements. You taught me that real wealth is having someone willing to stand between you and danger, someone who sees your worth beyond your bank account." Adrian's vows honored both their past and future. Catherine, when I threw myself in front of that bullet, was protecting a stranger. Today, I'm promising to protect, love, and support my best friend, my partner, and the love of my life. You've shown me that being a hero isn't about grand gestures. It's about choosing love every day, even when it's complicated. The reception featured speeches from unlikely sources. Dorothy Matthews, now one of Catherine's biggest supporters, spoke about watching her son find happiness with someone who challenged him to grow. I was wrong about Catherine, she admitted to the crowd. I thought she was just a rich woman playing with my son's feelings. Instead, I discovered she's a strong woman who loves my son exactly as he is, while inspiring him to become even better. Catherine's former critic Victoria also spoke, acknowledging her own prejudices. I questioned whether Catherine and Adrian belonged together because they came from different worlds. What I failed to understand is that they weren't from different worlds. They were both from the world of people who believe in doing what's right, regardless of personal cost. How's this story hitting you so far? Tell us in the comments if you're loving it. Type 1. If not, type 0. We want to know what you think. 5 years later, Adrian and Catherine Matthews stood in the boardroom of Sterling Pharmaceuticals, now officially co-CEOs of the company. Their partnership had proven as effective in business as it was in marriage, with Adrian's strategic thinking complementing Catherine's industry expertise. The cancer research breakthrough is ready for FDA submission, Catherine announced to the board. Adrian's military contacts helped us navigate the bureaucratic challenges that typically delay approval by months. How much impact are we projecting? Board member Sarah Kim asked. Conservative estimate. This treatment could save 50,000 lives annually while reducing treatment costs by 60%, Adrian replied. It's exactly the kind of innovation Catherine envisioned when she started prioritizing research over pure profit. After the meeting, they walked hand in hand through their company's research facility, watching scientists work on projects that could change the world. Remember when you asked what success looked like to me? Catherine said, as they observed a team developing pediatric cancer treatments. Building something meaningful with someone you love, Adrian replied, remembering their conversation from years earlier. We did that. We're still doing it. Their 3-year-old daughter, Hope, ran toward them from the company daycare center, her pigtails bouncing as she moved. Daddy, Mommy, look what I drew. She held up a crayon picture of 3 stick figures, clearly meant to represent their family, standing in front of a building labeled Helping Sick Kids. It's beautiful, sweetheart, Catherine said, lifting Hope into her arms. Are you really helping sick kids, Mommy? We're trying to, baby girl. Like how Daddy helped. You when bad men were scary? Adrian and Catherine exchanged glances, amazed by their daughter's understanding of their origin story. Exactly like that, Adrian said. Sometimes helping people means being brave when things are scary. I want to be brave too. You already are, Catherine assured her. You're the bravest little girl we know. As they headed home as a family, Adrian reflected on how dramatically his life had changed from that split-second decision in a parking garage. Taking a bullet for a stranger had led to love, partnership, marriage, fatherhood, and a career that let him protect people on a scale he'd never imagined. Any regrets? Catherine asked, echoing a question they'd asked each other many times over the years. About taking that bullet? Never. About falling in love with you? Never. About building this life together? Never. Good answers. What about you? Any regrets about hiring your would-be assassin's target as your head of security? Just one, Catherine said with a mischievous smile. Oh? I regret that we didn't meet sooner. Think of all the time we could have had together. We have all the time we need now, Adrian replied, pulling his wife and daughter closer as they walked toward home. The black man who had taken a bullet for a stranger had discovered that sometimes the most heroic act is simply choosing love over fear, trust over suspicion, and partnership over independence. In saving Catherine's life, he had found his own purpose, and together they had built something far more valuable than either could have achieved alone. A love story that had transformed them both and would continue changing lives for generations to come.